Another Brick fan with a Marvel Studios Infinity Saga set. This is I Am Groot. This is set 76217. It was released in June 2022. It has 476 pieces and cost about $55 when it was released. This is a brick-built figure of Groot from Guardians of the Galaxy, presumably from the second movie where he was kind of a baby Groot. You could think of this as being built to scale, for example, and from the second movie. As you can see, he does have a lot of vegetation and stuff on his chest and around on his arms and things like that up here on his head. It uses a lot of stickers to achieve that look, but I think they turned out quite well. And there's all kinds of articulation with Groot as well. But let's take a quick look at some of the other things that come with Groot. So he does have a data plate. Here's the little data plate that comes with Groot. And of course, the data is really not useful. It's funny. It just says, I am Groot for everything. So presumably they interviewed Groot to get this information. The other thing that it comes with is this cassette tape, a brick-built cassette tape, which I thought turned out really nice. Did a good job. There's a bunch of stickers on it to create that look, but you get the reels in there using wheel pieces. There's the tiles and everything that are done down here to make it look like a cassette tape. The backside is a little bit interesting with this bar that shouldn't need to be there, but that's what holds the wheels in place. But now you notice that on the back it's volume 2, whereas on the front it is the Awesome Mix volume 1. So they get both of them in there, which was kind of cool to get as well. Going back to Groot himself, I really like the way this turned out. His head is done very nicely. You can see there are some printed pieces here for his eyes. So these are just big black circles with some two-color printing here. These are wheel wells done in this darker green or kind of olive green color to give it that. You see the stickers, of course. He does have some plant pieces in here. Here's a leaf piece, for example. With the head on a ball joint, it does move around quite a bit. As you can see, you can turn his head back and forth. I like the way the mouth is open here, once again, with a fender type piece. The arms, of course, have 3 articulation points, and then the fingers are all on clips as well, so there's some movement in the fingers as well, which is great. Some vines, of course, are done with these whip pieces, so that's pretty nice. The thumb has some additional plant pieces as well on this side. Here's another leafy plant. The feet, so that the hips don't move out very much, so Groot cannot do the splits, and he only has 2 articulation points on the legs. So he's got the hips that move, and then sort of a knee ankle, it's a very high ankle if you think of it that way. But down on the bottom of his feet, down here, you can see where that ankle is, again on a ball joint with a little bit of movement there. But their feet are nice and big, providing a good base of support for Groot. So he does stand very nicely. Again, some more of these plant pieces, some vines done with bricks. So lots of callbacks to his plant nature. Like I said, he's very posable. You can do a lot with him. Some of these joints aren't super strong, so the head is actually quite large and a little heavy. So you kind of have to get it in a position that you like and then leave it that way. But you can do a lot of poses for him, some dance moves. If you might remember from the intro to Guardians of the Galaxy 2, this baby Groot or small young Groot was doing some dancing while everybody else was fighting. So it was pretty fun opening scene. Going on to the value of this, it is a little bit over the 10 cent per piece, probably pushing about 11 cents per piece with 476 pieces for $55. I would expect Marvel sets to be a little bit more expensive, so that doesn't bother me too much. I do think it's a good display piece. As far as play with it goes, I think Groot would kind of fall apart maybe. I think there's some of these pieces have just 1 or 2 studs connecting them. And of course, some of those ball joints are a little bit loose because of the weight of this figure. So I think he might fall apart under some rough play. So I don't think younger kids could really use Groot as a toy. I think it's more as a posable display piece. The value's not terrible. I mean, I would have liked to have seen this as maybe a $40, $45 set. Would have been great. It's always good to get Lego. I always think Lego is about 20% higher than it should be. So if you take 20% off this, that's about $12 off. So it would put it, in the 43 range. So just for sake of argument, let's say $45 would be a great price point for this particular set. It does also come in a combo set with the Iron Man Hall of Armor that was available at Costco last Christmas. That was a $100 set. So you got basically a $55 set and a $89 set in a set from Costco for $99, which was a great value. So if you can find that set, that was the way to get this particular model. Final thoughts. I think this is a great representation of Groot when he was small, in his kind of baby Groot form, which we saw in the second movie. You can definitely pose him in many dance moves if you want. I think the head is a little bit heavy based on the way it's constructed, although I think the head looks great. I really like that wide open mouth, the eyebrows, the expressive eyes. They did a fantastic job with this little model. I hope you appreciate my thoughts on this Marvel Infinity Saga set. I'm going to get started on my next video. And until then, happy building. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to see more of my LEGO reviews. I've left a link to my LEGO Marvel review playlist up here on the screen.